another Friday, and it's another edition of Engineering and You on OGTV, the People's Telly, from wherever you are watching us through whatever device that you are watching us on. It's Engineering and You, and it's a platform where we discuss everything engineering and as it affects our society, our day-to-day living. My name is Tunde Olaniran, your regular anchor on this program. And before we get started, if you are used to this program, you understand that it's an interactive one where we get to talk to you, and also you have the opportunity of talking to us. And last week we had a winner on the question that we asked for the day, Nkese from Calabar. She's yet to get across to us. Please, in case you are watching us, please call us. I'll give out the number very, very soon. And during the week, the question for the week, Jerry Jonah from Uyo in Akwa Ibom State got the question right on Facebook. Jerry and Nkese, please call this number and claim your prize, 0703 1611 497, 0703 1611 497. The gifts will get to you is courtesy Engineer Prince Yemisi Shilon, FNSC, and is proudly supported by NSC Abeokuta branch. On this note, let me give you the question for the day. If you know the answer, just call us and let us know. The question for the day is, what is the friction experienced in a body when in motion? The friction experienced in a body when in motion is called what? If you know the answer, please pick your phone and call us, or you go to Facebook at OGTV or YouTube at OGTV Abeokuta. There, put the answer there, and we'll rest assured that we'll announce you as the winner. We'll take this very short break. My guest is already in the house, and I don't want to keep him waiting. All right, you're welcome back. The program is Engineering and You, and like I said earlier on, it's an interactive one. So the question for the day is, what is the friction experienced in a body when in motion? If you know the answer, the friction experienced in a body when in motion, just pick up your phone, call us, the number we put on the screen any minute from now, or you can drop the answer on Facebook at OGTV, on Instagram, and on YouTube at OGTV Abeokuta, so that we can get the program started. Like I said earlier on, my guest is already in the house, and I want us to get into it very quickly. My guest is Engineer Dr. ADEYINKA SOBOWALE. Engineer Dr. ADEYINKA SOBOWALE was born over 5 decades ago. He obtained a bachelor's degree in engineering, in agricultural engineering, soil and water engineering option in 1998 from Federal University of Technology, Akure, completed a Master's of Science degree in water resources and environmental engineering, specializing in hydraulics and engineering hydrology in 2005 from the University, Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria. His research work on the sustainability of water resources of the Lake Chad Basin in Nigeria led to him to undertake further research in underground water recharge in the same basin. This culminated in an award of PhD degree in land and water engineering by the same university in 2013. Dr. SOBOWALE started his professional engineering career as an intern with Donson Nigeria Limited Lagos, where he participated actively in the World Bank-funded National Water Rehabilitation Project in Yobe State. The project successfully rehabilitated over 30 urban and rural water scheme in the state. He has provided consultancy services for World Bank and a number of projects. His passion to impact engineering knowledge made him dabble into academics, and he joined the service of Forest Research Institute of Nigeria, Ibadan, as a research officer, lecturer in 1999, and was given a Herculean task of establishing and nurturing the Department of Agricultural Engineering in the Federal College of Forestry Mechanization, Kaduna. In 2008, Dr. Sobowale joined the service of Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, and at the moment he is now an associate professor in the school. Join me as I welcome Dr. Sobowale to ENGR. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Your CV is quite full that we have to abridge, else we'll not have enough time to talk on this program.
Yeah.
Welcome once again.
Thank you so much.
Now, what is water resource engineering? Is there anything like that? What does it do? Yes. How does it affect life?
Okay, thank you very much. Water is life. Everything about human existence requires water. And the engineering of this water, in order to harness it, makes it very important for the knowledge of a number of engineering principles to be applied. Water is not only required for human sustenance, it's required for almost every activity that we do daily. Every developmental effort that we may want to engage in requires water. Construction, whether it is road or buildings. Electricity generation also requires water. I'm sure you are aware of hydropower. And I can go on and on. Food production through irrigation requires water, particularly in dry season, if we truly want to sustain our population by ensuring adequate supply of food, or we want to achieve food security, we need to make water available. Now, it doesn't just come easy. There is a lot of science that is involved in it. Being able to develop the water resources itself requires application of engineering. And that is why the specialized field of water resources engineering was developed. Actually, you will agree with me that the foundation disciplines in engineering is civil, mechanical, and electrical. Out of civil, water engineering is an offshoot out of civil engineering. Okay. And so it specializes basically on developing available water resources on Earth, both in the atmosphere. We have water in the atmosphere. We have water on land in our rivers. We have water under the ground. The water that is under the ground, talking about groundwater, that one is very trickish, because you can manage what you can see, but the one that you can't see, you don't even know where it is really much difficult to develop. Hence, it requires in-depth scientific analysis to be able to get it right. So water is very much important for us to have enough food on our tables all year round.
All right. You studied in your first degree agricultural engineering.
Yes.
Now, you just said that water resource engineering is an offshoot of civil engineering. Yes. Now, how did you come up from?
Okay. When you look at agricultural engineering, it's basically an agglomeration of all fields of engineering applicable to food production. All right. So there's an aspect of agricultural engineering that has to do with the soil and also have to do with water resources. Okay. Basically, in engineering, there are three major disciplines that deal primarily with water: agricultural engineering, civil engineering, and maybe mining engineering, because you have to mine from underneath the earth crust where you will meet water, of course. So they are all interwoven. However, to bring out the specialized field of water resources engineering itself, coming to the fore, makes it very important because we are now in an era where the climate change problem has exacerbated the availability of the water resources that is on the earth surface. And so the need for us to be able to scientifically develop appropriate technology to harness what we have and also to manage what we have.
Now, talking about the climate change that you just mentioned,
yes.
It's everywhere,
yes.
all over the world.
Yes.
And the people are trying to, world leaders are trying to manage this situation. Yes. But pertaining to us, Lake Chad Basin has been a source of water supply to those in the northeastern part of this country. Yeah. But now, it's been said that the lake is almost gone. Yeah. Now, how did we get there? And as a water resource engineer, what can we do to at least reverse this trend?
Yes. Let me take you back historically to the Sahelian drought of early 1970s. That was actually the period it became noticeable that the water resources in the Lake Chad Basin began to dwindle. And it was actually a great problem between 1970 and 1978. The federal government of Nigeria took it as a challenge to develop the water resources that are available in the country. And the implication of that, in order to combat the Sahelian drought, is to conserve water by damming the available rivers. So what happened in Lake Chad is just an aftermath of the damming. Across the entire region, you have several dams. As at the last count, there are over 100 dams within that basin. And when you dam a river, you are preventing downstream flow. And at the same time, you are reducing it. It's not that the entire water will be dammed and there will be no flow in the river, because there are sustenance required in the river. So when the large volume of water that is available within the resource itself has been stored up somewhere, basically to give back to all these large-scale irrigation schemes that we have in the north. You will also agree with me that there's a lot of food production going on in the north. It's as a result of these dams that were constructed in order to achieve food security. But unfortunately, nobody saw the effects, the aggravation of the climate change problem. Nobody foresaw it. And so we had already conserved this water. Now, evaporation increased, and then we lost, a lot of water is being lost annually. And the implication is that less and less water is available to sustain downstream flow. The implication of that is the lake that was responsible for dry season farming, fishing, transportation, and the rest began to shrink. However, the problem of Lake Chad is not predominantly caused by the Nigerian system, because looking at the situation in that basin, Nigeria only contributes about 1% of the water in Lake Chad. The bulk of the water comes from other nations that are surrounding the lake: Cameroon, Chad, Niger, and things like that. And this is where the climate change problem so much exacerbated the problem.
All right. Now we've spoken about the north. Let's come to the south. Yeah. I was speaking with a professor of agriculture, and he said in the southwest specifically, we can grow any crop that we want to grow all year round. Yes. But unfortunately, according to him, there are no dams as much as we have in the north. Now, looking at this climate change, would you want to, as a water resource engineer, encourage the building of dams for irrigation? Look at the climate change that is ravaging the world.
Thank you very much for that important question. It brings out a political mistake that was made in the 70s. When the Sahelian drought was ravaging the northern part of the country, the southern part of the country thought we are okay, because as at that time in the 70s, we were having 8 months of continuous rainfall, but now it's oscillating between 6, 7. I'm talking of months where real food production can take place. In the olden days, we used to have 8 to 9 months. In March, we start eating maize, for example, but today, if you are able to get a cob of maize for 100 naira, that is really quite cheap now. So where we got it wrong was our leaders didn't see what we are in now, the real climate change problem. It's actually coming from the north to the south. So we didn't envisage, and that's the reason why we didn't invest much in conserving our water. Most of our rainfall that we usually have here, we allow them to run into the Atlantic Ocean without us getting any value from them. And some of the few dams that we have been able to construct are majorly constructed during the period of the Western region for water supply and maybe for fishing. Now, the various agricultural schemes that we are supposed to have taken...
Okay, we lost that call.
The various agricultural programs that were supposed to have taken place or been put in place were not actually put in place. We actually have some dams in southwest Nigeria. We have the Oyon Dam, a 270 million cubic meter capacity dam. Most of the time, the water is released for water supply in Ogun State and Lagos State, and the rest goes to the Atlantic Ocean. We have Ikeregoj Dam too, which is in northern Oyo. We have Ashijire Dam. And so many of these dams impound water, but the agricultural schemes that they're supposed to supply were never developed. Maybe it was a political problem.
Okay,
you know,
how do we now harness maybe the few dams that we have?
Yes.
To because there is a need for food security,
yeah,
and there's a need for us to cultivate crops all year round,
yes,
either during rainy season or
yes,
during dry season. How do we now harness these few dams that we have, especially in the southwestern part of Nigeria?
Well, the buck stops at the tables of our governors, because we are now looking at how we are going to sustain ourselves. You know, everybody is always waiting for the federal government to come and do one thing or the other. That has to stop. This youth restiveness, unemployment can be solved locally. There are local problems and they can be solved. One way of doing that is to open up all these agricultural lands and allocate them to many of these youth, support them with inputs, and give them assurance that there will be a buyback of the proceeds, that is the produce that comes out of it. People will be encouraged to go into agricultural production using this same water that are just stored up, ordinarily evaporating every day.
All right, if a young Nigerian that is watching this program wants to study, wants to be a water resource engineer,
yeah,
and as a secondary school student, yes, what course do you suggest he takes, and what university would you advise the person to?
Yes, water resources engineering has the same requirement with all fields of engineering. The same subject matter, subject combination that is required: physics, chemistry, biology, maths, English. That is sacrosanct to engineering, any field of engineering that you may want to study. However, the schools that are studying water resources engineering at undergraduate level, there are few in Nigeria. I can only point attention to 3. Number 1, the very first one that started, where I graduated from Ahmadu Bello University. University of Ilorin is equally now doing it. FNIWE is already putting machineries in motion to mount that program now, and very soon they will be able to have access to it. Apart from these 3 schools, I don't think there is any other school that is running it at undergraduate level. However, it is available at postgraduate level in many institutions.
So if anyone wants to go into any other field that will later bring about is a migration, so to speak, into water resource engineering, what other course?
Yes, the candidates are advised to take agricultural engineering or civil engineering. So you can now come up for postgraduate work at water resources engineering.
All right, our time is up, and it's quite unfortunate that anytime you're enjoying this program, that is when the time will say we have to go. But we have to go. Thank you so much to my guest, Engineer Dr. ADEYINKA SOBOWALE, for coming to this. It's very educative Engineering and You edition. Now, today, our question for the day, Obong Obio got it right on Facebook. Obong, please, I will give you the number to call now, 0703-1611-4997. 0703-1611-4997. Call that number, Obong, and your gifts, your prize will get to you. And as we go, the conversation has to continue on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. So our question for the week is, what are the angles between two forces when the resultant is maximum and minimum? Again, what are the angles between two forces when the resultant is maximum and minimum? If you know the answer, put it on Facebook at OGTV, on YouTube at OGTV Abeokuta, and on Instagram. I will get it going from there. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's edition. Next week is another time. Until then, my name is Tunde Olaniro, and I'm saying bye-bye.